As we saw a 116-year-old beloved business in our community close its doors, new legacies are born in our community as well. Akiko Minaga caught up with Justin Gill, founder and CEO of Bachan's, a Sebastapol-based food business specializing in the family's secret sauce recipe from his beloved Bachan. Let's hear about Justin's story.
For our business, for our sauce, our brand is named Bachan's, and it's named after my Bachan. So before the war, she was living in Sebastopol, and she during the war was taken to Camp Amachi in Colorado, and after they were released, she came back actually to Sebastopol, and she lived along with her family on an apple ranch here in Sebastopol, the Perry Apple Ranch. She's who our brand is named after, and I'm honored to do that. And she's who taught my parents how to make our sauce, our multi-generational family sauce, and they all together taught me when I was a young kid. I just noticed, from a young age, how much people loved our family sauce, and just thought it would be really cool to bring it to market one day. So yeah, fast forward to about 2013, and I decided to kind of take a shot at bringing our sauce to market. And I went to all the co-packers here in Northern California, all the formulators, and I took them our family recipe. And I didn't know much about really anything about food production. I studied horticulture science in school. I talked to all the co-packers and formulators and just saw a pattern develop really quickly that they all told me that to commercialize our family sauce, I would need to pasteurize it and then add water to it to bring the cost of the ingredients down. And so I tried that, and it just completely changed everything about the sauce. I mean, if I was gonna do this and it was going to represent our family legacy, I wanted to make sure it was, had the integrity of the product that I grew up with and loved so much, and all of our family friends also loved. So I started to kind of work on formulating the sauce myself. It is, perfecting everything. Like, it's just something that I've always done. And when I took my family to actually on a heritage trip. My wife is Cambodian. We went to Cambodia for 2 weeks, and then we went to Japan for 2 weeks after that. And it was in 2017. It was right kind of in the middle when I was getting very close to finishing, the sauce. And I went over to Japan, went to Kyoto, and went to Tokyo, and for the first time, and just had so many questions about myself answered. And I think one of the things that I really appreciated is just how much pride they took in their craft, and how much they had this singular focus, and so that just really kind of inspired me to a whole new level. When I got back from the trip, that's when I really started stepping on the gas. And having a little background in science, I was able to, over about a 2-year period, just doing it on the side, was able to finally figure out how to make our sauce cold filled and shelf stable. And during that time, I actually elevated the ingredients that we used growing up and sourced, the best ingredients in the world. I took that back to the same co-packers, and none of them wanted to take on the business. And one of them in particular, as I was telling him about all these ingredients that I sourced and how great they were, he kind of stopped me in my tracks and said, listen, your ingredients don't matter. And all that matters is how much money you have to market this product. So I disagreed with him and left their facility. And actually, today our tagline is something we have trademarked from that period, is our ingredients matter. So after that, I went down to Southern California, couldn't find anyone here at Northern Cal, and found a co-packer that would take on the business that I thought would, meet the quality standards that I had. And my wife and I went down on our 15-year wedding anniversary, got our first production run done, brought the pallets back, and started selling right away. We went and did, demos at local stores here, started selling out on the shelf. We launched a website, started selling direct to consumer. Everything was going really well, and then the pandemic, hit, and we started, shipping from our home. Our kids were all home, so we used to pack the orders at our house. My bachan would come over, and my mom, and we'd get everything boxed up, and then I would take a drive down to the post office with my kids, and we unload all the packages, and we were doing that a few times a week, and then we started doing it every day, and then our whole house kind of turned into a distribution center, and then ended up closing 2020 with really strong sales with our original Japanese barbecue sauce. And then 2021 we introduced some new SKUs, some new products to the market. We brought out a gluten-free version, a hot and spicy, and then a yuzu. Part of doing this business for me, one part was for my family legacy, to also teach my kids, what you can do, what you can achieve in the world if you work really hard and believe in yourself and keep persevering. And the other part was to be able to share Japanese American culture, with the rest of the world. And that's something that we do with intention, and something that we do in I think a very inclusive way. So that has been awesome, and that's something I saw my family do growing up. My bachan, my jichan, my auntie and uncles, they shared their culture and would have their friends, from all different cultures over, and so to be able to do that and carry that forward is meaningful for me too. So there's a lot of them. They're just little sayings and things that I picked up on and remembered throughout my whole life that my bachan would tell me, and my brothers and sisters. One of them is the world is your oyster, and she still writes that, and so does my mom actually on all of our birthday cards and Christmas cards and things.
And Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce continues to be the pearl from Sebastopol. This is Greg Gloria for Akiko Minaga for the Nichi Bei Café.